Lord of the Rings. So last time we made it halfway through a chapter because it was too long and it was too tiring for me to keep going. Lord of the Rings. Oh, there's me. And I think from now on, I'm probably just going to do like one chapter a stream, no matter how short it is, so that we don't run into the same issue. This stream, I want to keep reading this book. I want to keep going. I want to finish it. But it's not the most popular thing. So, I find my motivation lacking. But I do want to finish it, the book. So I'm just going to do it slowly over time. Just one chapter. And that's it. And it's going to just be a fun time. Okay? Just a short little fun stream every dang week. Okay? Yeah, 1,000 page chapter. Yeah, turns out the second half of this book is just one chapter, and that's it. PG King, hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. You're ready for some Lord of the Rings. And I am going to try to keep streaming every week, or doing the other stream as well. So there'd actually be more streaming, technically. But I mean, last one, I didn't plan that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. AB's interested in coming back, so maybe I'll have AB back. We'll see. We'll see. But we want to get right into the reading so the viewers at home, the non-live viewers, can enjoy the novel. So I got to remember where I was. Let's see. Maybe I'll just start this whole page over. I think one thing I remember, ready to be lulled into sleep. Yeah. Oh, you like the side character? Yeah? Yeah. I think it was a good time. I think it's a fun idea for a stream just to have. And potentially people can join in the future, with like Discord or whatever. That's the plan. That's the goal. Yeah. I think one issue is that there are too many, I'm just starting getting to this part of the book where there's just a bunch of humans, and it's just going to be a lot to juggle the voices for all these humans and trying to make them slightly different, Yeah, we love that. We love that. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to go ahead and, shiesta. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Here, let's make sure the mic's in a good spot, actually. I try to position the mic so that, for aesthetic reasons, so that the light in the background is, right behind it, because I feel like it looks better that way. But when I read, I want to be comfortable, so it's kind of hard to consistently maintain that kind of visual. All right, let's do it. Gimli and Legolas looked at their companion in amazement, for they had not seen him in this mood before. He seemed to have grown in stature, while Éomer had shrunk. They're talking about Aragorn, of course, who just had his mogging moment. And in his living face, they caught a brief vision of the power and majesty of the kings of stone. For a moment, it seemed to the eyes of Legolas that a white flame flickered on the brows of Aragorn like a shining crown. Éomer stepped back, and a look of awe was in his face. He cast down his proud eyes. These are indeed strange... What do I do for Éomer? These are indeed strange days. Like Boromir. Because Boromir's dead. He ain't coming back. These are indeed strange days, he muttered. Dreams and legends spring to life out of the grass. Tell me, Lord, he said, what brings you here, and what was the meaning of the dark words? Long has Boromir, son of Denethor, been gone seeking an answer, and the horse that we lent him came back riderless. What doom do you bring out of the north? The doom of choice, said Aragorn. You may say this to Theoden, son of Thengil. Open war lies before him, with Sauron or against him. None may live now as they have lived, and few shall keep what they call their own. But of these great matters we will speak later, If chance allows, I will come myself to the king. Now I am in great need, and I ask for help, or at least for tidings. You heard that we are pursuing an orc host that carries off our friends. Oh, you heard that we are pursuing an orc host that carried off our friends. What can you tell us? That you need not pursue them further, said Eomer. The orcs are destroyed. And our friends? We found none but orcs. That is strange indeed, said Aragorn. Did you search the slain? Did you search the slain? Were there no bodies other than those of all kind? They would be small, only children to your eyes, unshod but clad in grey. There were no dwarves nor children, said Eomer. We counted all the slain, and despoiled them, and then we picked the carcasses and burned them, as is our custom. The ashes are smoking still. We do not speak of dwarves or children, said Gimli. Our friends were hobbits. Hobbits, said Eomer. What may they be? 'Tis a strange name. A strange name for a strange folk, said Gimli. But these were very dear to us. It seems that you have heard in Rohan of the words that troubled Minas Tirith. They spoke to the halfling. These hobbits are halflings. Halflings, laughed the rider that stood beside Eomer. Oh, it's a different one. Halflings, laughed the rider that stood beside Eomer. Halflings? But they're only a little people in old songs and... oh, wait, no, he's not a regular guy. I think this is... Wait, let's look ahead. This guy might... I think I remember reading this already. Peace, Eothane. Oh, it's his brother. Okay, so he's got to sound cool, epic, too. He's not a regular dude. Okay. Halflings, laughed the rider that stood beside Eomer. Halflings? But they're only a little people in old songs, children tales out of the north. Do we walk in legends? Or on the green earth in daylight? Do we walk in... Like, Eomer sounds like this, and Eothane sounds like this. No, dude, I hate it! Why do there have to be, like, twin brothers? I don't know if they're twin brothers. They're probably not, but, like, they definitely are a little too similar. Halflings, laughed the rider that stood beside Eomer. Halflings? But they're only a little people, and old songs and children's tales out of the north. Do we walk in legends, or on the green earth in the daylight? I can't. He's got to have the same accent, but whatever. See, this is why reading books is hard. I can do accents and fun stuff and sound good, but, like, juggling the voices and coming up with new voices and remembering them, that's hard. Which I guess I'd have to do with, like, notes and, like, just, I guess, tons of practice, you know? Man may do both, said Aragorn, but not we, but those who come after will make legends of our time. The green earth, say you. That is a mighty matter of legend, though you tread it under the light of day. Time is pressing. He's got an accent, of course. Time is pressing, said the rider, not heeding Aragorn. We must hasten south, Lord. Let us leave these wild folk to their fancies, or let us bind them and take them to the king. Peace, Eothane, said Eomer in his own tongue. Leave me a while. Tell the Eored to assemble on the path, and make ready to ride to the Entwade. Muttering, Eothane retired and spoke to the others. Soon they drew off and left Eomer alone with the three companions. All that you say is strange, Aragorn, he said. Did you speak? Oh, wait, no, this is Eothane. No, this is Eomer. Eomer and Eothane! Fuck these guys and their stupid, similar names. Okay. All that you say is strange, Aragorn, he said. Yet you speak the truth. That is plain. The men of the Mark do not lie, and therefore they are not easily deceived. But you have not told all. Will you not now speak more fully to your errand? Will you not now speak more fully? Fuck! Why can't I read that sentence? Will you not now speak more fully of your errand, so that I may judge what I do? So that I may judge what to do. I set out from Imladris. It is named in rhyme. I set out from Imladris. It is named in rhyme. Many weeks ago, answered Aragorn. With me went Boromir of Minas Tirith. My errand was to go to that city with the son of Denethor, to aid his folk in their war against Sauron. The company that I journeyed with had other business. Of that I cannot speak now. Gandalf the Grey was our leader. Gandalf the Grey was our leader. Gandalf, Eomer exclaimed. Gandalf Greyheim is known in the Mark, but his name, I warn you, is no longer a password to the king's favor. He has been a guest in the land. He has been a guest in the land many times in the memory of men, coming as he will, after a season or after many years. He is ever the herald of strange events, a bringer of evil, some now say. Indeed, since his last coming in the summer, all things have gone amiss. At that time our trouble with Saruman began. Until then, we counted Saruman our friend, but Gandalf came then and warned us that sudden war was preparing in Isengard. He said that he himself had been a prisoner in Orthanc, and had hardly escaped, and he begged for help, but Theoden would not listen to him, and he went away. Speak not the name of Gandalf loudly in Theoden's ears. He is wroth, for Gandalf took the horse that is called Shadowfax, the most precious of all the king's steeds, chief of the Maerus, which only the Lord of the Mark may ride. For the sire of their race was the great horse of Eorl, that knew the speech of men. 7 nights ago Shadowfax returned, but the king's anger is not less, for now the horse is wild, and will let no man handle him. Then Shadowfax has found his way alone from the far north, said Aragorn. For it was there that he and Gandalf parted, but alas, Gandalf will ride no longer. He fell into darkness in the mines of Moria, and comes not again. Excuse me. That is heavy tidings, said Eomer, at least to me, and to many, though not to all, as you may find if you come to the king. It is tidings more grievous than any in this land can understand, though it may touch them sorely ere the year is much older, said... Oh, wait. Fuck! That's not Eomer! Damn! Okay. It is tidings more grievous. It is more tidings more grievous than any land. It is tidings more grievous than any in the land can understand, though it may touch them sorely ere the year is much older, said Aragorn. But when the great fall, the less must lead. My part it has been to guide our company on the long road from Moria. Though Lorien we came, of which it were well that you should learn the truth ere you speak of it again, and hence down the leagues of the great river to the falls of Rarus. There Boromir was slain by the same orcs whom you destroyed. Your news is all of woe, cried Eomer in dismay. Great harm is this death to Minas Tirith, and to us all. That was a worthy man. All spoke his praise. He came seldom to the Mark, for he was ever in the wars on the east borders. But I have seen him, more like to the swift sons of Eorl than to the grave men of Gondor he seemed to me, and likely to prove a great captain of his people when his time came. But we have no word of this grief out of Gondor. When did he fall? It is now the 4th day since he was slain, answered Aragorn, and since the evening of that day We have journeyed from the shadow of Tol Brandir. On foot! On foot! Cried Eomer. Yes, even as you see us. Yes, even as you see us. Wide wonder came into Eomer's eyes. Strider is too poor a name, son of Erathorn, he said. Wingfoot I name you. This deed of the three friends. Fuck. Sometimes I get a mouthful of words that I can't say. This deed of the three friends should be sung in many a hall. 40 leagues and 5 you have measured ere the 4th day is ended. Hardy is the race of Elendil. But now, Lord, what would you have me do? I must return in haste to Theoden. I spoke warily before my men. It is true that we are not yet at open war with the Black Land, and there are some, close to the king's ear, that speak craven counsels, but war is coming. We shall not forsake our old alliance with Gondor, and while they fight, we shall aid them. So say I, and all who hold with me. The Eastmark is my charge, the ward of the third marshal. I saw something weird. I don't know what the heck Okay. And I have removed all our herds and herd folk, withdrawing them beyond Entwash, and leaving none here but guards and swift scouts. See, I saw it on the stream too. Wait. Now I feel like I have to look. Okay, there was just some weird glitch on the stream. Okay, It's nothing. Sorry, it's nothing. But now, Lord, hasted. Herds and headfoot with that. Okay. Then do you not pay tribute to Sauron? Said Gimli. We do not, and we never have. Said Eomer, with a flash of his eyes, though it comes to my ears that lie has been told. Some years ago, the Lord of the Black Land wished to purchase horses of us at great price, but we refused him, for he puts beasts to evil use. Then he sent plundering orcs, and they carry off what they can, choosing always the black horses. Few of those are now left. For that reason, our feud with the orcs is bitter. But at this time, our chief concern is with Saruman. He has claimed lordship over all this land, and there has been war between us for many months. He has taken orcs into his service, and wolf riders, and evil men, and he has closed the gap against us, so that we are likely to be beset by both east and west. It is ill dealing with such a foe. He is a wizard, both cunning and dwimmer crafty, having many guises. He walks here and there, they say, as an old man hooded and cloaked, very like to Gandalf, as many now recall. His spies slip through every net, and his birds of ill omen are abroad in the sky. I do not know how it will all end, and my heart misgives me, for it seems to me that his friends do not all dwell in Isengard. But if you come to the king's house, you shall see for yourself. Will you not come? Do I hope in vain that you have been sent to me for help in doubt and need? I will come when I may. Switching between these two. I will come when I may, said Aragorn. Come now, said Eomer. The heir of Elendil would be a strength indeed to the sons of Eorl in this evil tide. There is battle even now upon the western net, and I fear that it may go ill for us. Indeed, in this riding north I went without the king's leave, for in my absence his house is left with little guard. But scouts warned me of the orc host coming down out of the east wall 4 nights ago, and among them they reported that some bore the white badges of Saruman. So suspecting what I fear most, a league between Orthanc and the Dark Tower. I led forth my Aorid. I led forth my Aorid. I led forth my Aorid, men of my own household, and we overtook the orcs at nightfall 2 days ago, near the borders of the Entwood. There we surrounded them and gave battle yesterday at dawn. 15 of my men I lost, and 12 horses, alas, for the orcs were greater in number than we counted on. Others joined them, coming out of the east across the great river. Their trail is plain to see a little north of this spot, and others, too, came out of the forest. Great orcs, who also bore the white hand of Isengard. That kind is stronger and more fell than all others. Nonetheless, we put an end to them. But we have been too long away. We are needed south and west. Will you not come? There are spare horses for you to... There are spare horses, as you see. There is work for the sword to do. Yes, and we could find a use for Gimli's axe and bow of Legolas, if they will pardon my rash words concerning the Lady of the Wood. I spoke only as all men in my land, and I would gladly learn better.
Oh, shit, dude. That is how you be mature. You learn from your mistakes and apologize and take accountability right away. That's how you apologize.
Thank you for your fair words, said Aragorn, and my heart desires to come with you, but I cannot desert my friends while hope remains. Hope does not remain, said Eomer. You will not find your friends on the north borders. Yet my friends are not behind. We found a clear token not far, and yet my friends are not behind. We found a clear token not far from the east wall, that one, at least, of them was still alive there. But between the wall and the downs we have found no other trace of them, and no trail has turned aside, this way or that, unless my skill has wholly left me. Then what do you think has become of them? I do not know. They may have been slain or burned among the orcs. But that you will say I cannot be, and I do not fear it. I can only think that they were carried off into the forest before the battle, even before you encircled your foes, maybe. Can you swear that none escaped your net in such a way? I would swear that no orc escaped after we sighted them, said Eomer. We reached the forest eaves before them, and if after that anything living broke through our ring, then it was no orc, and had some elvish power. Our friends were attired even as we are. Said Aragorn. And you passed us by under the full light of day. I had forgotten that, said Eomer. It is hard to be sure of anything among so many marvels. The world is all grown strange. Elf and dwarf in company walk in our daily fields, and folk speak with the Lady of the Wood, and yet live. And the sword comes back to war that was broken in the long ages ere the fathers of our fathers rode into the mark. How shall a man judge what to do in such times? As ever he has judged, said Aragorn. Good and ill have not changed since yesteryear, nor are they one thing among elves and dwarves, and another among men. It is a man's part to discern them, as much in the golden wood as in his own house. True indeed, said Eomer. But I do not doubt you, nor the deed which my heart would do. Yet I am not free to do all as I would. It is against our law to let strangers wander at will in our land, until the king himself shall give them leave, and more strict is the command in these days of peril. I have begged you to come back willingly with me, and you will not. Loth am I to begin a battle of 100 against 3. Loth am I to begin a battle of 100 against 3. Ooh. How far are we? Only 25 minutes. Let's see. How close am I? It's going to be awkward if this chapter is like less than... Oh, no, we're good. We got some time. We got enough content to make a real video here. No worries, folks. No worries. I do not think your law was made for such a chance, said Aragorn, nor indeed am I a stranger, for I have been in this land before, more than once, and ridden with the host of the Rohirrim, though under other name and in other guise. You I have not seen before, for you are young, but I have spoken with Eomed your father, and with Theoden, son of Thengil. Never in former days would any high lord of this line, never in former days would any high lord of this land have constrained a man to abandon such a quest as mine. My duty at least is clear, to go on. Come now, son of Eomed. The choice must be made at last. Aid us, or at the worst let us go free, or seek to carry out your law. If you do so, there will be fewer to return to your war, or to your king. Was that a threat? Eomer was silent for a moment, then he spoke. We both have need of haste, he said. My company chafes to be away, and every hour lessens your hope. This is my choice. You may go, and what is more, I will lend you horses. This I only ask. When your quest is achieved, or is proved vain, return with the horses over the Entway to Meduseld. Meduseld. The Entway to Meduseld. Return with the horses over the Entway to Meduseld, the high house in Edoras, where Theoden now sits. Thus you shall prove to him that I have not misjudged. In this place myself, and maybe in this I place myself, and maybe my very life, in the keeping of your good faith. Do not fail. I will not, said Aragorn. There was great wonder, and many dark, doubtful glances among his men when Eomer gave orders that the spare horses were to be lent to these strangers, but only Eothane dared to speak openly. It may well be enough for this lord of this race of Gondor, as he claimed. I keep doing like an Italian, like an Irish for this guy. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, of course, it may be well. I'm going to be a bit more casual with this guy. It may be well enough for this lord of the race of Gondor, as he claims, he said. But who has heard of a horse of the mark being given to a dwarf? No one, said Gimli. And do not trouble. No one will ever hear of it. I would sooner walk than sit on the back of any beast so great, free or begrudged. He doesn't want to get on the horse. But you must ride now, or you will hinder us. But you must ride now, or you will hinder us, said Aragorn. Come, you shall sit behind me, friend Gimli, said Legolas. Then all will be well, and you need neither borrow a horse nor be troubled by one. A great dark grey horse was brought to Aragorn, and he mounted it. What the fuck? Sorry. A great dark grey horse was brought to Aragorn, and he mounted it. Hasteful is his name, said Eomer. May he bear you well, and to better fortune than Geralt, his late master. A smaller and lighter horse, but restive and fiery, was brought to Legolas. Arid was his name. But Legolas asked them to take off saddle and rein. I need them not, he said, and leaped lightly up. And to their wonder, Arid was tame and willing beneath him, moving here and there, but with a spoken word. Such was the elvish way with all good beasts. Gimli was lifted up behind his friend, and he clung to him, not much more at ease than Sam Gamgee in a boat. Farewell, and may you find what you seek, cried Eomer. Return I get clogged throat sometimes. Return with what speed you may. Let our swords hereafter shine together. I will come, said Aragorn.
And I will come too, said Gimli. The matter of the Lady Galadriel lies still between us. I have yet to teach you gentle speech.
We shall see, said Eomer. So many strange things have chanced that to learn the praise of a fair lady under the loving strokes of a dwarf's axe will seem no great wonder. Farewell.
Wow, how strange. Gimli, friend of elves? Dwarves, friend of elves? That's not how it works.
With that they parted, very swift were the horses of Rohan. When after a little Gimli looked back, the company of Eomer were already smar. God, dude, sometimes I don't know how to fucking talk. The company of Eomer were already small and far away. Aragorn did not look back. He was watching the trail as they sped on their way, bending low with his head beside the neck of Hasufel. Before long, they came to the borders of the Entwash, and there they met the other trail of which Eomer had spoken, coming down from the east of the wold. Aragorn dismounted and surveyed the ground. Then, leaping back into the saddle, he rode away for some distance eastward, keeping to one side and taking care not to override the footprints. Then he again dismounted and examined the ground, going backwards and forwards on foot. There is little to discover, he said when he returned. The main trail is all confused with the passage of the horsemen as they came back. Their outward course must have lain near the river, but this eastward trail is fresh and clear. There is no sign there of any feet going There is no sign there of any feet going the other way back towards Anduin. Okay. There is no sign there of any feet going the other way back towards Anduin. Now we must ride slower and make sure that no trace or footstep branches off on either side. The orcs must have been aware from this point that they were pursued, that they may have made some attempt to get their captives away before they were overtaken. As they rode forward, the day was overcast. As they rode forward.
God, dude. See, this is the other thing about reading. For some reason, it's hard for me to keep my mouth to moving properly. Like, come on, let's make words happen, Will. What are you doing, brother? How you guys doing? Yeah, you guys having a good time in there? Yeah, I know we got a few watching. I hope y'all are having fun.
Okay. As they rode forward, the day was overcast. Low gray clouds came over the wold. A mist shrouded the sun. Ever nearer the tree-clad slopes of Fangorn loomed, slowly darkening as the sun went west. They saw no sign of any trail to right or left. But here and there they passed single orcs, fallen in their tracks as they ran, with gray feathered arrows sticking in back or throat. At last, as the afternoon was waning, they came to the eaves of the forest, and in an open glade among the first trees they found the place of the great burning. The ashes were still hot and smoking. Beside it was a great pile of helms and mail, cloven shields and broken swords, bows and darts, and other gear of war. Upon a stake in the middle was set a great goblin head. Upon its shattered helm the white badge could still be seen. Further away, not far from the river, where it came streaming out from the edge of the wood, there was a mound. It was newly raised. The raw earth was covered with fresh cut turves. The raw earth was covered with fresh cut turves. About it were planted 15 spears.
A grave for the fallen men, perhaps?
Aragorn and his companions searched far and wide about the field of battle, but the light faded, and evening soon drew down, dim and misty. By nightfall they had discovered no trace of Merry and Pippin.
"We can do no more," said Gimli sadly. "We have been set many riddles since we came to Tol Brandir, but this is the hardest to unravel. I would guess that the burned bones of the hobbits are now mingled with the orcs. It will be hard news for Frodo, if he lives to hear it, and hard for the old hobbit who waits in Rivendell. Elrond was against their coming."
"But Gandalf was not," said Legolas.
But Gandalf chose to come himself. And he was the first to be lost," answered Gimli. "His foresight failed him."
"The Council of Gandalf was not founded on foreknowledge of safety, but for himself or others," said Aragorn. There are some things that it is better to begin than to refuse, even though the end may be dark. But I shall not depart from this place yet. In any case, we must wait here.
Fuck. Why does everyone speak weird?
Sorry. Okay. In any case, we must here await the morning light.
That sentence.
In any case, we must here await the morning light. A little way beyond the battlefield, they made their camp under a spreading tree. It looked like a chestnut, yet it still bore many broad brown leaves of a former year, like dry hands with long splayed fingers. They rattled mournfully in the night breeze.
Hey, Super Smash Bros. We love Lord of the Rings. Welcome. What a name. Brawl, too.
Love that. Gimli shivered. They had brought only one blanket apiece.
"Let us light a fire," he said. I care no longer for the danger. Let the orcs come as thick as summer moths round a candle."
"If those unhappy hobbits are astray in the woods, it might draw them hither," said Legolas. "And it might draw other things, neither orc nor hobbit," said Aragorn. "We are near to the mountain marches of the traitor Saruman. Also, we are on the very edge of Fangorn, and it is perilous to touch the trees of that wood, it is said."
"But the Rohirrim made a great burning here yesterday," said Gimli, "and they felled trees for the fire, as can be seen, yet they passed the night after safely here, when their labor was ended."
"They were many," said Aragorn, "and they do not heed the wrath of Fangorn, for they come here seldom, and they do not go under the trees, but our paths are likely to lead us into the very forest itself, so have a care, cut no living wood."
"There is no need," said Gimli. The riders have left chip and bow enough, and there is dead wood lying in plenty."
He went off to gather fuel, and busied himself with building and kindling a fire. But Aragorn sat silent, with his back to the great tree, deep in thought, and Legolas stood alone in the open, looking towards the profound shadow of the wood, leaning forward, as one who listens to the voices calling from a distance. When the dwarf had a small bright blaze going, the three companions drew close to it and sat together, shrouding the light with their hooded forms. Legolas looked at the boughs of the tree reaching out above them.
"Look," he said, "the tree is glad of the fire."
It may have been that the dancing shadows tricked their eyes, but certainly to each of the companions that boughs appeared to be bending this way and that, so as to come above the flames, while the upper branches were stooping down. The brown leaves now stood out stiff and rubbed together like many cold, cracked hands, taking comfort in the warmth. There was a silence, for suddenly the dark and unknown forest, so near at hand, made itself felt as a great brooding presence, full of secret purpose. After a while, Legolas spoke again. "Celeborn warned us not to go far into Fangorn," he said. "Do you know why, Aragorn? What are the fables of the forest that Boromir had heard?" "I have heard many tales in Gondor and elsewhere," said Aragorn. "But if it were not for the woods of Celeborn, I should deem them only fables of men have made true. What? Fuck. But if it were not for the words of Celeborn, I should deem them only fables that men have made as true knowledge fades. I had thought of asking you what was the truth of the matter, and if an elf of the wood does not know, how shall a man answer?" "You have journeyed further than I," said Legolas, "and I have heard nothing of this in my own land, save only songs that tell how the Ondrim, that men call Ents, dwelt there long ago, for Fangorn is old even as the elves would reckon it." "Yes, it is old," said Aragorn. "It is old as the forest by the Barrow Downs, and is far greater. Elrond says that the two are akin, the last strongholds of the mighty woods of the elder days, in which the firstborn roamed while men still slept. Yet Fangorn holds some secret of its own. What it is, I do not know." "And I do not wish to know." "And I do not wish to know," said Gimli. "Let nothing that dwells in Fangorn be troubled on my account." They now drew lots for the watches, and the lot for first watch fell to Gimli. The others lay down. Almost at once, sleep laid hold on them. "Gimli," said Aragorn drowsily, "remember, it is perilous to cut a bough or twig from a living tree in Fangorn, but do not stray far in search of dead wood. Let the fire die rather. Call me at need." With that he fell asleep. Legolas already lay motionless, his fair hands folded upon his breast, his eyes unclosed, blending living night and deep dream, as is the way with elves. Gimli sat hunched by the fire, running his thumb thoughtfully along the edge of his axe. The tree rustled. There was no other sound. Suddenly Gimli looked up, and there, just on the edge of the firelight, stood an old man, bent. Wait, sorry. This is a big part. We gotta. Suddenly Gimli looked up, and there, just on the edge of the firelight, stood an old man, bent, leaning on a staff, and wrapped in a great cloak. His wide-brimmed hat was pulled down over his eyes. Gimli sprang up, too amazed for the moment to cry out, though at once the thought flashed into his mind that Saruman had caught them. Both Aragorn and Legolas, roused by this sudden movement, sat up and stared. The old man did not speak or make a sign. "Well, father, what can we do for you?" said Aragorn, leaping to his feet. "Come and be warm if you are cold." He strode forward, but the old man was gone. There was no trace of him to be found near at hand, and they did not dare to wander far. The moon had set, and the night was very dark. Suddenly Legolas gave a cry. "The horses! The horses!" The horses were gone. They had dragged their pickets and disappeared. For some time the three companions stood still and silent, troubled by this new stroke of ill fortune. They were under the eaves of Fangorn, and endless leagues lay between them and the men of Rohan, their only friends in this wide and dangerous land. As they stood, it seemed to them that they heard, far off in the night, the the sound of horses whinnying and neighing. Then all was quiet again, except for the cold rustle of the wind. Anybody else here? I think there's a couple people. Some lurkers, perhaps. These Lord of the Rings streams, they are peaceful streams. People just silently hang out, Silently hang out, which is totally fine. Well, they are gone, said Aragorn at last. We cannot find them or catch them, so that if they do not return of their free will, we must do without. We started on our feet, and we have those still. Feet? Wait, yeah, feet, said Gimli. But we cannot eat them as well as walk on them. He threw some fuel on the fire and slumped down beside it. Only a few hours ago you were unwilling to sit on a horse of Rohan, laughed Legolas. You will make a rider yet. It seems unlikely that I shall have the chance, said Gimli. If you wish to know what I think, he began after a while, I think it was Saruman. Who else? Remember the words of Éomer. Remember the words of Éomer. He walks about like an old man, hooded and cloaked. Those were his words. He has gone off with our horses, or scared them away, and here we are. There is more trouble coming to us, mark my words. And I mocked them, said Aragorn. But I marked also that this old man had a hat and not a hood. Still, I do not doubt that you guess right, and that we are in peril here, by night or day. Yet in the meantime there is nothing that we can do but rest, while we may. I will watch for a while now, Gimli. I have more need of thought than sleep. The night passed slowly. Legolas followed Aragorn, and Gimli followed Legolas, and their watches wore away, but nothing happened. The old man did not appear again, and the horses also did not return. And that's the end of the chapter. And we're going to have a shorter stream. That's going to be the end here. And that is just a half a chapter. That was a very long chapter. I read half last week. And I've decided I'm going to do one chapter a week for reference. So we are going to end it here. Most streams are probably going to be longer than this one. Because those chapters are long. But we're going to end this here. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Classic game right there. Thank you so much for watching. Peachy Keen was in here. I think there might be a couple other people. Thank you so much for watching, folks. It is oh, I just moved my thing on accident there. It was a good stream. I hope somebody had fun in there. I want to keep doing this stream, but like having the potential to read 2 chapters and sitting here for like 2 to 3 hours is just too much for me. So we're going to keep the 1 chapter streams and just get steadily through this book. Hopefully do the whole thing. That is the update, and that is the stream. So yeah, we're going to end it. Thanks for watching, anyone who is here, and farewell. May you have the rest of your evening. And may you have a good rest of your evening, everyone in chat. Farewell, son of Eowyn, son of Eowyn. No, Eowyn, son of Eowthorn. Yes, Eowyn. Sorry. Okay.